Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slaying Hope, and I got another video for y'all. This video, I just want to talk about how there's a thin line between delusion and thinking highly of yourself. But I want to play this video clip, and then I want to come back, so bear with me.
Do you believe you're an average woman?
I do not.
Because?
Excuse me?
Why? Why don't you believe you're an average woman?
Well, I don't believe in selling myself. So I'm not going to, I don't have I'm not a woman that feels like I have to prove my value to anybody. So it's like
you don't. It was just a question.
Yeah, to me, it's just like, I don't believe I'm an average woman just because I'm me. And I don't believe any person would you say you're an average man.
Are you asking me that question? Yeah, I think I'm an average guy.
Okay, well, that's good. I think it's a healthy habit to think highly of yourself. So with me,
so a dude that make $20,000 a year, is he average?
Hold on,
no.
wait. Do you think
he's average? Then no.
Wait a minute. Do you think it's detrimental to overinflate your view of yourself?
No, because if you
really, so if I believe that I'm just Superman and I'm walking around like I'm Superman, that's not gonna do anything to me psychologically, because that's not the real world.
Yeah,
right?
But it depends on what if someone believes that your value you're overinflating is based upon what they view you as, right? So I'm not going to hold myself subject to anyone else's standards or what they think my value is when I determine my own value.
Wouldn't that be a narcissist?
No, it's not. Because why would you let somebody else tell you, if you think you're handsome, why would somebody tell you, hey, you're ugly, and do you accept that as your reality?
Because I am an image. I'll just say this. I can think that I'm good looking, but if that person says I'm not attractive, that's their opinion.
Exactly.
But hold on. That's their opinion, but it doesn't mean it doesn't matter. And it doesn't mean it is not true. It doesn't mean it's not true.
That's their truth. That's their perspective.
So if you've never seen something that was ugly and you was like, nah, girl, that's ugly. A dress, anything.
That's a perspective.
That is, but in the same thing, it doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah, but that would mean it's true with other people who share my same perspective.
And it might be possible.
Because some people may think it's cute. So it's like, because that's my perspective doesn't mean that it's a genuine truth across all borders just because I said it.
That may be the case.
And when it comes to someone overinflating their ego, it becomes overinflating their worth. It becomes a problem when it's egotistical. Me, I'm a woman that does not have ego. So it's like with me, I base myself into reality. I know that the stuff that the work that I put into myself. Oh yeah, yeah. Really? So when it comes to like ego, to me, I'm not the most beautiful woman in the world, but I know I am beautiful. So it's like, to me, I can get anybody I want. So it's like, that's far-fetched. No, because you can. I believe
anybody you want.
Yeah, everybody should have that mindset. That's a healthy mindset. You should think highly of yourself.
So
I think that's being delusional.
It's not.
So let me ask you this.
And that's fine. You don't have to agree with my mindset of how I view myself. If you want to think lowly of yourself and think that you can't get everybody that you want, then you can insert that on yourself. That has nothing to do with it.
So let me ask you this. So if you can get anything that you want or anybody that you want, right?
You would be married today.
There you go.
That's if the goal was that. I don't want to be married right now.
But the goal was in the past. It was.
No, it was not.
So you didn't want to be married?
I've never been a woman that was like, oh, I can't wait to get a ring on my finger. That's never been my mindset. That's why I turned it down.
So when do you want to be married?
I don't know. Whenever I feel like it. It's like, if I wanted to be married today, I could be. But
when do you want to be in a relationship again?
Whenever I'm done doing my work on myself. It's not really a rush for me. So it's like, I don't subscribe to the societal standards. So it's like, you don't have to agree with me, and you can think that.
No, we're not agreeing with you. I
know you're not agreeing with me, but I feel like it's very offensive when someone says they think highly of themselves and for you to laugh.
But in order to say you can get anybody you want.
Yes, that's true. Just like you can have anybody you want.
No, I can't. I want. You know what? Look in your phone right now. Look up fucking Holly Berry's number. I want her.
Okay, well, shit, go after her.
No. I want her.
That's me. That's the mindset.
That doesn't mean I can get her.
How do you know that you can't?
Oh my goodness.
Why do you think so lowly of yourself to where you think that you can't?
You know what that's more like? That's more like a rapist mindset. I can have her. I want her. I'm taking her. No.
Nobody said take her.
But even then, I can't have anybody that I want.
Well, you can think that of yourself.
No one can do that.
Okay, with me, I feel like it's very.
Okay, so who's somebody that you would date? You said Drake earlier. You said something about Drake.
Date Drake.
Who would you date? Famous.
Celebrity doesn't mean anything.
Just answer the question.
No, because I don't have any. But I guess with me it's different because I'm not like.
You don't have. So name me somebody you are attracted to that's famous. I don't give a fuck who it is.
I'm not in that space.
Oh my
and so I guess that maybe we did need the other girls here, because I'm not a person that's like, I'm not like, I just need a man. I don't even look at men like that.
Need that.
Not even where it comes to like want. I haven't seen anybody.
Even
like,
growing up, there's nobody you've been attracted to.
I mean, it's people that are attractive, but it's not anything that's like, oh, I just want him. No, I feel like my want to someone is developed.
Can I say something? Z, I'm not trying to frustrate you.
I'm not frustrated at all. It's just, to me, what I don't
well,
like.
let me say this to Antoine really quick.
Yeah, okay, but I just want to say this. What I don't like is, I don't like a borderline bully. If someone chooses to have,
and I don't want to feel like we're teaming up on you or none of that.
But what I'm saying is, if someone chooses, if someone chooses to have high self-esteem as opposed to low self-esteem, that does not give you a right to call them names and call them narcissistic or say, oh, overinflated, because they choose to have high self-esteem because you're used to your standard of being low self-esteem. Anybody that they can have. No, if you say you can have anything that you want, you can, because your mindset reflects your reality.
No.
And you're not.
About time. Now, I probably should have never even played this whole video, because it been started to get annoying. The people that were kind of like asking her questions seemed like they was kind of dumb too. Now, before I even go into the video, right? Like, look, I do recommend that everybody should have a good sense of self-esteem, right? Everybody should be confident. Everybody should feel good about themselves. That is a given. But there is a thin line between thinking highly of yourself and having good self-esteem and being delusional, right, about who you are. Now, I want to make a few points, and that's the first point, right? Yes, you should have healthy self-esteem. You should not think lowly of yourself. You should not, feel bad about yourself, feel good about yourself. At the same time, when your sense of self is too inflated, you can start to become delusional, and you can start to go into the different narcissistic spectrum. Because I'm not here to diagnose nobody. I'm not qualified. But narcissism, like the traits, are in a spectrum, meaning that there's healthy narcissism and then there's unhealthy narcissism. For the most part, we are all self-absorbed, right? Self-preservation is the number one rule in human nature, right? To preserve self. You can't help others if you are not in a place where you can help people, right? Like, I can't give nobody no water unless I have water. And when I get water, I need to make sure I'm hydrated first, right? I need to make sure I have enough water for myself before I give water to anybody else. So that's just the laws of human nature, right? Food, clothing, shelter. We need to be in a good space before we even share with others, right? So it's okay to have a self-absorbed mindset and think about yourself first before you think about others, right? That's okay. However, the next point that I wanted to talk about is, she said she don't have to prove her value, right? And it's ironic that a lot of women feel like that. I don't have to prove my value. But oftentimes, men have to prove theirs, right? You got to have money. You got to be a made man. You got to have a lot of things working for you. You got to have value. Like, women oftentimes will say, I'm not what am I submitting to? Right? They basically saying that their submission is conditional. But when a man say things like, okay, well, this is the type of woman I'm looking for. I'm looking for a virgin. I'm looking for a woman who hasn't been touched like that, hasn't been passed around. I'm looking for a woman cook, clean, is cooperative. All they catch a heart attack, right? But this is what men value, which a lot of women, especially in Western society in America, don't kind of bring, right? So when you say that, everybody has to have some type of value and add some type of value to the next person's life. But a lot of these sisters have this mindset, I don't need to, I should just get cuffed because I'm a woman. But I blame some of the men. I blame a lot of men. They giving them this high sense of inflated ego. And she said, I don't have no ego. I told you in another video, beware of people who feel like they don't got no issues. I'm not saying that she said that, but when people say I don't have no egos, I don't got a problem with that, like, watch those people, because they usually do, right? So you do have to have some type of value, and somebody has to deem you valuable for them to even treat you a certain way or put you on a pedestal. You get what I'm saying? Like, when a man wants to marry a woman, you gotta have some type of value that man sees in you in order for him to marry you. The same way when a woman looks at a man and she's like, yo, he's the guy that she sees some type of value in you. So this whole shit, like, I don't have to prove my value. Yes, you do. You have to earn that, right? Somebody has to be able to see. Nah, that's a good girl right there. That's a girl. Somebody has to see that. So in somebody seeing it, you're proven. But you can't talk logic to certain people. The next thing she said is, not she said, but the next point is overinflating your worth, slash determining your own value, right? Let me tell you something, right? Because a lot of people get this thing mixed up. If I have this comb, right? And to me, let's just use the comb as the woman, right? If I have this comb, and this comb is, I'm trying to sell it for $100. It's just a figure of speech. I don't want y'all coming at me all crazy. If I'm trying to sell this for $100, to me, the value of this comb is $100. $100. And I go to pawn shops and I go to other people and I market it. I put it on eBay. I put it wherever I put it. And I'm telling everybody, this is $100. It's worth $100. I'm putting value on this, right? So I'm telling everybody, this is what it's worth. I'm not settling. I'm not trying to hear nothing. $100 or nothing. If everybody gets back to me and says, I'm not willing to pay $100 for that. I'm not even going to say everybody. If most of everybody that I've been to is telling me that shit is not worth $100, we'll give you 40. Some people might say, we'll give you 50. Others might say, we'll give you 60. We ain't going above 60. We give you between 60 to 40. At some point, yes, I could sit around wishing and hopeful that somebody comes along and finds this as valuable as me and comes and gives me $100 for it. I could sit around and be hopeful and pray and hope that somebody comes and give me $100 for the comb. Or I could just be like, you know what? I could take the 60. I could take the 60. That's the most I was offered. I could take the 60. And that is called compromising or settling. A lot of these people, these women, think they're not going to have to settle, but they are. Because they think they're worth something. They think their value is up here. When in reality, shorty, some of them are either below average or they're just making it with the makeup and the costumes and all of that. And it's not about how you look on the face. Because I don't want brothers to think it's about the looks. Sometimes some women are great women. They might not have the best appearance, but they're great. They'll bring you peace. They're inspirational. They beautiful inside and out, right? Like, you just don't have no complaints. So sometimes you're going to have to compromise too. And I said this in another video. You're going to have to go look at some of those 3s and those 4s that will bring you peace, right? That will treat you good. That will give you no complaints, right? That will inspire you, that will motivate you, that will be there for you. So, yes, you can have a high sense of self, but your market value is still based on the market. If listen, I say this to people all the time. If you walk in a room and 9 out of the 10 people in that room call you ugly, you ugly. You ugly. I don't care what high sense of self you have. If you walk in a room and 8 people out of the 10 call you ugly, you ugly. If 7 out of the 10 people in that room call you ugly, you ugly. If most of your life you've been called ugly, you ugly. I don't care what sense of self you got. That don't mean you got to think lowly of yourself. You can still have high self-esteem and be ugly. This is the thing people don't get. You can be ugly and still have a high sense of self. It doesn't stop you from being ugly though. And I think that's like what people need to come into realization. If you ugly, you ugly. You don't got to think lowly of yourself. You don't got to be suicidal. You don't got to feel like shit. But you got to acknowledge, like, you know what? I'm not the best looking thing out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not this top tier bottle of cognac. I might be average shelf, middle shelf, or below. Like, you got to be realistic with yourself. So there's a thin line, right, of overinflating in the value, right? Because it's still based on the market and what people are willing to pay for you. I'm just hypothetically using that, right? So if people don't feel like you're worth whatever you think you're worth, sometimes you got to go back to the drawing board and be like, you know what, maybe I'm really not worth this much. And you don't gotta feel like shit or think lowly of yourself. That's just being realistic. The next point is, I already covered this. It's a thin line between delusion and thinking highly of yourself. I think a lot of people get caught up in the, I gotta think high, and don't really do nothing to work on themselves, right? They don't really do nothing to work on their appearance. They don't go to the gym. She looked like she was a little chubby. Not saying there's nothing wrong with being a little, not chubby. Nah, there's something wrong with being chubby. We're not even gonna play that. If you thick, you thick. If you fat, you chubby, you're obese, come on, you got to work with that. We trying to promote healthy bodies over here, right? So yeah, you got to do certain things. You got to equip yourself for certain things that people might look at you like, increase your value. Men got to do the same thing. You got to learn some skills. You got to learn, you got to be a people person. You got to get charisma. You got to get whatever you got to get to increase your value. Women got to do the same thing. But again, some of our sisters feel like I don't need to do that. And I should just come with coochie. And it's like, I'm valuable. Nah, but I blame the brothers. A lot of brothers is out here doing sucker shit. So that was just the point of the video. Your value is based on market needs, right? Market needs. And if you don't have the things that people are looking for, or the things that men feel like they need in their life, then shorty, you're not gonna really, like, how valuable are you? But again, like I said, it's nothing wrong with thinking high of yourself. But there's levels to it, because sometimes you cross certain boundaries or certain thresholds where you start going into that delusional shit. Another thing, this is the last thing I would say, is, brothers, when you see sisters going in that route, in that direction, you got to stop arguing with them. We got to stop having logical conversations with illogical people. We can't. When people start, when you see the conversation going into this whole delusional shit, and this whole like, okay, this shit about to go, like, we got to stop. We got to start arguing. We got to start going back and forth. We got to stop trying to get people to understand, right, what the hell the realities of life. Like, leave them. We got to stop engaging. There's a lot of energy. Let's stop wasting our energy. Let's stop wasting our efforts. And let's talk to the sisters who get it. The sisters who going to be like, you know what, when you break that shit down to them, they're going to be like, yeah, I need to get in the gym. They're going to go to the gym. The ones when you break down, this is what you're doing, they're going to be like, you know what, I need to change. I need to get better. Whether they got to go to therapy, whether they got to be realistic and set realistic goals to themselves. You got to work with those women. Work with the women who get it, who understand, who are trying to be better. Not the ones who you got to beat them in the head with a hammer, trying to make them understand the realities of life. Leave them. Leave them alone. Let's save our energy. We're not doing that no more. We're not stressing. We're not causing ourselves brain aneurysms dealing with some of these sisters. We're trying to live for longevity. Push these sisters to the wayside and get with the sisters that's going to ride and going to fix themselves up and going to become those women that we need in our lives. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. And y'all stay blessed. Peace.